A studio accountant today recalled, and I quote, "A lot of people thought Walt Disney made his first major error 30 years ago." The accountant went on to say, amusement parks were considered bad places then. And here he was putting $17 million into an orange grove in California. The financial community thought he was crazy. Goofy maybe, crazy no. 30 years later, Jerry Bowen looks at the world's most successful Mickey Mouse operation as Disneyland celebrates its birthday.
Party time at the Magic Kingdom with Mickey Mouse leading the singing. It's taken very much for granted now, but more than 30 years ago when Disneyland was just so much empty space among the orange groves, still just Walt Disney's vision, most people thought the idea was preposterous.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
And opening day 30 years ago was nearly a disaster. 3 times the expected crowd turned out, rides broke down, there was a gas leak in Fantasyland. Even the live telecast went goofy.
Signifying man's achievements. I thought I got a signal.
Ronnie Reagan, come on in. Yeah, and how about that son of yours?
But with the help of some of his Hollywood pals, Disney's show came off, and Mickey and Minnie, who looked more like mice back then, introduced a bunch of kids who were soon to turn the yuppie generation onto television.
Here we are, these 24 unknown little kids with little black ears on our head, and nobody knew who we were because the show wasn't on yet. And it was kind of sweet to think that a year later, all these people came back and bought these little black ears for their kids.
Over the years, 250 million people have visited the park. 80,000 more are expected at today's 24-hour-long party. And Disneyland has become synonymous with squeaky clean, family fun.
I just love Disneyland. I'll be here till I die.
But the land of make-believe has not escaped real-world problems. A strike by employees last summer, the loss of a lawsuit brought by 2 gay men stopped from dancing together in 1980, declining attendance for the last 4 years. So change is coming. A high-tech dance hall to lure teenagers, for example.
I think the gamble is not fiddling with things, being complacent, saying it's all great. Pretty soon you find your audience is grown up and moved on to other things, and now you're just a nostalgia museum.
And so today, with a public relations fanfare that left little to chance, Disneyland turned 30, hoping to convince anyone who will listen there's still a lot of magic left in the Magic Kingdom. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Anaheim.
And that's the CBS Evening News for this Wednesday. Dan Rather reporting from New York. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Weller.
And I'm Mary Hart. Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Tinkerbell, Captain Hook, the Seven Dwarfs, Rob Weller, and Lisa Gibbons helped Disneyland celebrate birthday number 30 this week.
Walt Disney had a lifelong love affair with trains, so it came as no surprise to anyone, really, when one of the first attractions to be completed at the park was this 5/8 scale replica of a 19th century railroad.
Disney studio craftsmen manufactured each detail from a blueprint of a real working steam engine. Then the finished product was trucked from Burbank to the site here in Anaheim. And 30 years ago, Walt climbed behind the throttle and opened up his dream to the public.
Hello, Walt. Hello, Governor.
Hi.
Boy, how did the run go?
Oh, fine, fine. The governor had her around through Frontierland, and then Fred Gurley there, he took her around. I picked her up and brought her in. Highballing in, boy. To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
But the grand opening that day was far from being a happy event. Rides broke down. Fantasyland was closed because of a gas leak, and there weren't enough toilets because of a plumber's strike. For the rest of his life, Walt Disney referred to opening day as Black Sunday. But Disneyland recovered and has done more than survive. It set the standard for amusement parks and has now been visited by almost 250 million people.
Mickey and his pals spent Birthday Eve yesterday drumming up support for what Disney was famous for before the park. Al Owens has that story.
What do you expect when you go in to see a Disney movie?
Good animation. That's what you expect. Like the old Fantasias and the hand-drawn cells. That's what I expect to see.
William Moses certainly wasn't disappointed as he and other Hollywood stars got their first chance to see The Black Cauldron, the latest animated feature from Walt Disney Studios.
It makes me feel like when I used to go to Walt Disney films. It's been a long time since I've sat through an animated Walt Disney film.
The Disney people threw a summer lawn party to show off their new movie to friends. Among the stars present were Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, as well as a newcomer named Gurgi, who appears in The Black Cauldron. As for the humans, being on the guest list meant seeing the movie before everybody else. How does it feel to know that you're one of the first and few?
I was one of the first to see Mickey Mouse. I might as well be one of the first to see this. I would think it's appropriate.
The Black Cauldron opens around the country next week. Allowance Entertainment Tonight.